Hello everyone and welcome back to Dwellers in the Dark. A quick little video here. I want to discuss one of the scenarios that GW sent out. It's Heirlooms of Ages Past. Now, we've been using this scenario for just under a year, perhaps maybe a year in fact. It came out, was it the start of 2017? Anyway, either way, it was something that we used in, well, the ETC, and I made a few adjustments to it. I moved the tokens, or the potential relic tokens, in closer to the center to prevent the usual pick up a token, get lucky on a dice roll, and then basically run away with the token and practically ensure yourself a win, making it a lot more difficult for your opponent to A, get break points, B, get the general kill, and C, ensure that they have their own banner to get a draw if unlucky enough to kill the model with the token or the relic and get the 6 points for that. So it seemed to be a bit of a strange scenario. Strange in the fact that it seemed to be a 50-50 dice roll. It was more a case of let's toss a coin and see who wins, because it just literally came down to pure luck, coupled with Maelstrom of battles, so deployment all over the table, tokens set out similar to that in domination, again potentially all over the table with a few little restrictions, of course. So it wasn't really a competitive tournament scenario, but yet a great scenario in itself. So played at the GT and I managed to win that with just one model. Sorry, Sam, again. And I played it in the final of Deadliest Heroes with Cole on the final table. Again, just a case of running away with my model after my army had been decimated. So we started taking a look at it and a little bit closer. So let me just throw up the victory point conditions here. So you're looking at 6 points if your force is in possession, 3 if you have more models closer to the relic than your opponent, 1 VP if you do a wound on an enemy leader, 2 VPs if you kill the enemy leader, 1 VP if the enemy force is broken, 2 VPs if the enemy force is not broken, and 1 VP if you've at least one banner, and your opponent has no banners remaining, then you score 2 VPs. So with that in mind, guys, again, you can see how a draw is potential, but that means your opponent has to decimate your army as such to actually get that. And with the randomness of the game ending on a 1 or 2 when one force is broken, if the force is broken but there's no general points awarded, then it makes it a lot more difficult. So again, it's a very random scenario. But if you look at the first objective, if you look at the first instance where it says give VPs, it says you gain 6, or you score 6 victory points if your force is in possession of the relic at the end of the game. Nothing in dispute there. If at the end of the game you are not in possession of the relic, but have more models within 3 inches of the relic than your opponent, then you instead score 3 victory points. Now, I think this is why I wanted to bring this up in a video. I wanted your opinions, I want your thoughts on this. But I want you to kind of be open-minded when you look at it in a circumstance. I have the relic, I have one model with the relic, I am potentially surrounded by my opponent, or desperately in pursuit by my opponent. The game ends on a 1 or a 2, the die rolls up in the air, comes down with snow on it, and it lands on a 1 or a 2, game ends. But my opponent has more models within 3 inches of the objective than I do, or the relic. So I'd get 6 for having it, but my opponent will get 3 for having more models closer to it. That now makes the whole scenario totally and utterly different, because the 6 for me holding it, the 3 for him being close to it, all he now needs to do is kill my general and break me, or even have the only banner available on the table, and potentially my opponent is winning the game. So it's no longer a situation where you have the relic, you win the game. Just a case of avoiding your opponent. Now it's a case of you have the relic, you're racing away, your opponent's pursuing you down, and they get enough models in key positions to be able to steal 3 points for themselves. You still get your 6, they get their 3. It evens up the game a lot better, in my opinion. Still allows for your mails from a battle. Still allows for random deployment of the tokens, because now it's a case of, if you are lucky enough to pick up a token, you then have to find a way to castle yourself to make sure that you've got enough models around it. In order to do that, coupled with the mails from a battle, it really seems like it's clear. This is not how it's going to be played in Sterling. This is not how it was played in Nova. In fact, this is not how it was played in the GT or any other tournaments that we're aware of. And some of them, other than the GT, have actually put parameters and restrictions on this new Games Workshop scenario. But if you put that in mind, I think it gets rid of the need for actually setting parameters. I think it gets rid of the need for reducing the points for having the relic, or redoing mails from a battle, where it's now, in some cases, some tournaments have tried, and not very successfully, I believe, alternate deployment. So this is something that I'm going to be considering very strongly for the ETC. I read it that you get 6 points, or you can have 3 points. Obviously, if you've got the relic and you have more models around the relic, does that entitle you to 9 points? Well, no, it doesn't, because it clearly states that if you're not in possession of the relic, you're entitled to 3. So I actually think that's a lot fairer. I think it's a much better scenario if we view it that way. If anyone's got any comments, if there's a raging uproar of "no, I'm reading it wrong," then please educate my English. But yeah, so listen, quick little video. Just thought I'd put this one out there. There's not much else I can say. I think under the circumstances, it becomes an awesome scenario and doesn't need to be tampered with. Remember, the guys in the Middle Earth team, they know what they're doing. A few little mistakes here and there, yeah, sure, but this is such a major scenario that it would have been FAQ'd and changed if it wasn't like that so far. So, let's see. Maybe we're just reading the wording wrong. Okay, guys, well, I'll leave it at that. Looking forward to your thoughts, your comments. If there's any other type of videos you'd like me to get back in doing, more than happy. I'm in the groove at the moment, happy to do some videos, happy to get the information out. I'm looking at things like maybe an additional aspect to my seminar on how to be a top 10 player. I've got maybe 1 or 2 videos I could do on that. I'm definitely going to start re-looking at, as I put one out earlier, a list building. So if you want to check out that list building video I did, which doesn't give you details of list building, but I'd like to expand on that. I'd also like to do some of the outdoor stuff. I think I mentioned about building furnaces and stuff, and I'd like to get back into doing scenery and making and painting up scenery for you guys and seeing where things go. But most importantly, we've got the ETC, and the ETC has got a few videos to get out there, some news, some sponsorship aspects, and some moves forward. So listen, guys, I'll leave you there, and cheers for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever, you know, and thank you very much. Bye for now.